بسم الله الحمد لله الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. سبحانك اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. Our notable for tonight is not known for his deep religious scholarly knowledge. He is also not known to be a fearless warrior. But he is a scholar, but of the innovative type. So he is the father of engineering. He's the father of AI, artificial intelligence, which is a big thing these days. This person is the father of AI. And he's the father of automation in general. And everyone on the face of the planet is indebted to him. Everyone. Every passenger, every pilot, every driver, every captain, anyone who uses technology is indebted to this person. This person, this notable, is Al-Jazari. Al-Jazari. Badi' al-Zaman, Al-Ezz, Al-Jazari. He lived in the border between Syria and Turkey. So if you're Turkish, you can consider him Turkish. If you're Syrian, you can consider him Syrian, no problem. But he lived in that area. And he was born in the year 583 Hijri. So, the beginning of the 12th century. He was right around the time of Salah ad-Din al-Ayyubi. But he was a genius. He was a very innovative person in terms of engineering and automation. And he is the first one, and actually one of the most important innovations that he had was the conversion of the circular motion to linear motion. It sounds simple, but it's very profound. And this is a core operating concept for anything that moves, whether it's an airplane or a ship or a car or whatever it is. You have to convert the circular motion to linear motion. And trains were invented, a long time after him, but it was based on his principle. And this principle just kind of sat for 2 centuries, until Europeans took this principle and applied it. He's the one who invented pumps. So he came up with a way where water would go, flowing water would flow in a certain area, and then some gears and axles would rotate, and the axles would be connected to another axle, which will be connected to a gear. So it will pump the water it'll take the water from one area and pump it to another area in a very controlled way. So, for centuries and millennia, people used to do this manually, rotate around an axle, humans in some cases, but mostly animals, like a cow or a donkey or a horse, right? It'll be rotating around an axle to pump the water out. So he eliminated that. He automated that. This is the one. Al-Jazari is the one who automated that. And his name comes from Jazirat Ibn Omar, which is actually it's not an island. It's called the island of Ibn Omar, but it's not an island. But it's called an island because it's surrounded by some rivers. But it is in that bordering area between Syria and Turkey. So he invented the pump. And, the pistons and the engine, that's because of him. That's the converting the circular motion to linear motion. So he's the father of the engine. So he's the one who invented the pump, and he is also the father of the engine. And one of his most famous inventions is the elephant clock. If you've ever seen it, it's a very intricate system, and it's in some of the museums. And actually he has a book, it's called Al-Jami' Bayna Al-Ilm Wal-Amal Al-Nafi' Fi Sana'at Al-Hiyal. This is a book that he wrote. The translation of the title is The Integration of Knowledge and beneficial works for making tricks. But what he meant by tricks is automation, like doing things without people. And he had these very elaborate systems where he used axles and gears and chains to get the machine or the robot to do what he wanted without human intervention. Very intricate. He's the father of watches, because he's the one who invented the gears. And without the gears, you can't have a watch. And he's the one who invented the stopwatch. So he had this system of a candle. So a candle with a known burn rate. And the candle is connected to some cylinders and a counterweight. And based on if you want the stopwatch to make a sound, like let's say an hour before Fajr, because he wants to get up and pray the night prayer. So the candle will burn, and as the candle burns, the weight of the candle changes. And it's connected to a system of pulleys and cylinders and a counterweight. So as the system moves, certain things will happen, and then like a guy who's holding a sword, the sword will fall and hit something and make a noise, and it'll wake up the one who's sleeping. So he's the first one, stopwatch concept. He's the one who came up with that. And he also came up with a clock where there is a person who's sitting and he has a stick, and the stick moves, and it shows, it's like the handles, the hands of the watch, same thing. He's the one who invented that concept, and it's based on like a float that's in a water tank. So there's a float in a water tank, and the water, there's an orifice or a little hole where the water escapes, but in a kind of calculated rate, and it's like a cone shape. And this float is connected to a pulley and a counterweight. So as the water stream gets out of the tank, the float will go down. It'll pull on the pulley and the counterweight, and then that person will, the hand will move. So very, very intricate systems that he came up with. And even Leonardo da Vinci, he took from his book. He studied his book. Leonardo da Vinci is a very well-known, European, Italian inventor and artist and all of that. And actually, this scholar, he's more known in the Western world than in the Muslim world. He's very well known there. His books and his inventions are in the museums. The Boston Museum for Fine Arts has his book, this book that I mentioned. It's there. So, what he did was very instrumental to, and it touches everyone. There's no robots or automation without Al-Jazari. There's no AI without Al-Jazari. He was the first one who came up with artificial intelligence. There's no trains, airplanes, cars, ships without Al-Jazari. There's no pumps without Al-Jazari. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him for his efforts. ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يرحمه وأن يجعل هذه الأعمال في ميزان حسناته. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy on him and to make all of these deeds in the scale of his good deeds. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.